Hey loves, it's your girl DeeDee and welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction. Now this comes from a civil contempt of court matter. In this particular court matter, this woman is found in contempt of court because she refuses to follow the judge's orders. So she ends up refusing to follow the judge's orders and she is sentenced to 10 days in jail, child. So this woman in this case, she's trying to deny the father of the child his visitation rights. And so she is found in contempt and she'll end up in jail. We're gonna go ahead and get into this. Make sure you guys chime in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos or go live. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
I'm the judge for Division 10. This is our civil contempt. We have 3 matters on the calendar this morning. I'm going to call the case. Let me know if you're here. And then for Miss Habib, how much time? Miss Bouvier, how much time are you requesting? Miss Bouvier, I thought I saw. Okay, I can't see you at this juncture, and your video, and your sound is on mute.
10 minutes.
So let's put time in there.
Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Give me. All right, give me one moment. So the court had an opportunity to review those and has a better understanding of background. I can't remember exactly how far we got in there. I don't know if Ms. Giles even made recommendations at that time. I don't think we got that far, but I'm not sure if you all remember or not. But I have read the recommendations in the report.
I don't think we got that far last time, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. We have Ms. Bouvier. Ms. Bouvier, you need to turn your video on because we're in the middle of trial. Middle of the hearing now. So you have to have your video on. You turn your mic off, but your video needs to be on.
Your Honor, for the record, before we proceed this matter, there are some facts I must state for the record. I'm here on special restricted appearance as the representative of the descendant. And I do not wish to waive any rights, rather statutorial or procedural. And for the record, as the authorized representative, executor, beneficiary, I have demanded a jury trial in regards to this matter. Moving forward, for the record, Your Honor, I have filed an amended notice of recusal with an affidavit of fact on May 29, 2024. With all due respect, Your Honor, I have not received a response from you in regards to this notice. Please note for the record, I have presented to this court on special restricted delivery all presentments to date. Moving forward, according to Georgia Code Section 1512-122 and 2020 Georgia Code Section 91138, rights to a jury trial is a reserved right. Please note for the record, at this time, I do not wish to add nor subtract anything from my presentments, and I stand behind my documents. And at this time, I respectfully excuse myself from this proceeding to await all notices concerning the trial by jury according to the law.
Okay. So first, you filed a motion for recusal, which the court denied. It looks like you you need to turn your video back on. If you don't turn your video back on, I'm going to have a hearing without you.
Now, the judge has told her about 3 times to keep your video on, that you could turn the audio off, but keep your video on, that it has to be on, and she kept turning it off. First off, she's disrespecting the court and the judge right there by not following orders. She says she filed a recusal, but it was denied. I guess that means she has to be there. She's trying to remove herself from the hearing, but seems like that was denied and she has to be there. So maybe that's why she's constantly turning her camera off, even though the judge has told her 3 times not to do it. You know, I think sometimes when they have these court proceedings online, you can't just do anything. It's still considered court. I think a lot of times when it's online, they really disrespect the judge and think that they could do anything just because it's online. But a lot of them have been sadly mistaken by that. So baby, let's continue.
Okay. So turn your video back on. All right. You filed a motion for recusal, which the court reviewed and denied without there being sufficient evidence. I think you filed an amended one, which the court did not receive a copy of. You were supposed to send that to Chambers if you actually wanted me to respond to it. But you filed it via e-file. I'm noticing it now. It's going to be denied for the very same reasons. With regard to your request for for a trial, this is a custody matter. It cannot be a trial by jury because you can't have a trial by jury on a custody matter. So that issue would be denied. As for your representation, the court will consider you London Bouvier. That's who you are. That's what the court consider you as.
So she basically saying that this type of custody hearing, a jury is not allowed for child custody matters. So I think that's what she was trying. I guess she was trying to say, now she's just trying to be combative, in my opinion, trying to do everything that she can to try to get out of this situation, because she's been keeping the child's father away from him. She's not been allowing him to see his child. And, you know, he has rights. He has visitation rights, and she's trying to keep him from the child because she don't want him to have that time with his child. And she's doing everything in her ability to try to stop that. That's just what it is. And look at it. She looks mad because she doesn't want him to see his child. Another way to try to punish the fathers because you can't get your way. Let's continue.
If you want to consider yourselves as anything else, that'll be up to you. But when I make a decision, it's going to be for your government name, London Bouvier. And that's what the law of Georgia is going to hold accountable. So when you don't do what I asked to do, your representative or whoever you think you might be won't be going to jail. It will be you, London Bouvier. Okay? So I want to make sure you understand that. So is that clear to you? All right, we're going to proceed in these proceedings. If you want to participate, that's up to you. If you don't want to participate, that's up to you. But I am going to make a ruling, and the law will be what the law is. I suggest you should participate so that you can be heard, and that the concerns that you have, the court will have an opportunity to hear them. That'll be up to you, okay? But if you do participate, you need to have a video on. Ms. Giles?
Yes, Your Honor.
Start with your recommendation first, and then you can back up with why you make such decision.
Sure. And I think we're just here on the limited matter for contempt from that interim order that was entered in April, if I'm correct. And I agree with that, what's in that order, Your Honor, as far as getting visitation started for Malaya and Dad.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull back for a second, okay? Because I think I had to go to another. Okay, so I see an amended, on April 19th, amended parenting plan.
No, Judge. We had the hearing, I believe, on the 14th. We submitted an interim order for a temporary visitation that was signed on the 19th.
That's signed on the 19th.
That's correct, Your Honor. I'm sorry, it was signed on the 18th and filed on the 19th.
Did you get a copy of it? Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see it. Hold on for a second.
Now, while they're figuring that out, you still see that this Ms. Bouvier lady is not even on camera again. She backs away from the camera, gets out of the camera view. The dad, which is at the top, Romario Hub, is there. He hasn't said anything yet, but she's still not on camera. And I'm pretty sure the judge is going to recognize that, and she's still not listening. Just combative. Just don't want to listen to anybody, even the judge. Let's continue.
Did you see it in the... It's not showing in Judge's edition. Oh, that's odd. Odyssey shows it. Okay, I apologize. So there are two things. There's Odyssey that everybody kind of looks at, and then there's Judge's edition, which is how we keep our notes based on a document, which is how we operate. I don't know why, but this interim order isn't there. So when I was reviewing the file for this hearing, I didn't see this order. So let me take a quick second to look at it. Thank you.
No problem, Judge.
Has this order been followed? Is it being
followed? Your Honor, that's why we're here.
It's not being followed.
No, right. We filed a contempt on this order on May 7th.
Really? I don't know what's happening. Okay. I assume I had thought that this matter was coming back on the calendar because I continued it from the last matter, but now I understand. Okay, so there is also the contempt on the interim order.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Got it. I got it. All right. Yeah. All other issues shall remain. Okay. All right. So the order isn't being followed.
That's correct.
That's the issue. It being followed at all, like no visitation, or just being
no visitation at all, Judge.
So once again, this combative woman has not followed the order at all. She has not allowed the dad to have visitation rights at all. And they really think that they can get away with it. And when you have a situation where there are a lot of women who talk about, the fathers don't want to be in a child's life and don't want to be here, but then you have situations like this that people are not privy to, where these women are literally keeping the children away from the dads. And this is just one example, but there's so many more just like this, where these women claim, they don't want to be a part of the child's lives, even go to the extent of lying to the children and telling them your dad didn't want to be in your life, when fathers actually have to fight to see their children. So this is just one example of what's happening all over the place, where these women are mad because the relationship didn't work out, they couldn't get their way, so they use the child as leverage to hurt the fathers. But then get on social media and lie and say, oh, he doesn't want to be in his child's life, I'm doing it all by myself, when these fathers have to literally fight for either custody or just to be able to have time with their children. This is insanity, but this is how it is in the court system, and a lot of these women don't want to talk about this or address this because they know that they're in the wrong. But let's continue.
All right, Ms. Bouvier, I've indicated to you once before that your video has to stay on. This will be my last warning to you. Turn your video on. Ms. Bouvier, if I say it again, I'm going to find you in contempt of court. If I say it again, I'm going to find you in contempt. So when any issue happens before, I'm going to have my deputies come get you. Okay? You turn it off again, I will find you in contempt of court. All right? So you will spend 10 days in the DeKalb County Jail. You turn the video off again. Okay? Did you understand me, Ms. Bouvier? Did you understand me, Ms. Bouvier? Unmute yourself and say so. Ms. Bouvier, I'm going to ask you one more time. I'm going to excuse you from this hearing. I'm going to find you in contempt, and I will pick you up. And your child will then go to Mr. Bibb. Unmute.
I stand behind my documents. For the record, I stand behind my documents.
You can stand behind whatever you want. Do not unmute like I asked you. Ms. Marshall, go ahead and remove Ms. Bouvier from these proceedings.
Yes, ma'am.
Baby, listen, that judge had to tell her about 5 times, please stay on camera, and she did not listen. And look at her demeanor. She's so pissed that she can't even listen to the judge because she can't get her way. And she's talking about she's staying behind her documents. The judge is speaking to you. You're supposed to respond. They don't take these proceedings seriously. Now she's in contempt of court. She's going to be picked up because she can't even listen to the judge because you can't have your way, knowing you're in the wrong. Something in them just can't get them to do the right things. The man he just wants to have his rights to see his child. But these women get in their feelings and their emotions and they act out of order, and you think that everybody's gonna put up with that, and they're not. And so the judge is ordering her, she's in contempt of court, and she's gonna probably end up doing 10 days in jail when she didn't have to. Just because she's so bitter and staunch of thinking that she's right and doesn't want to listen to anyone. This is the problem with a lot of these modern women. You don't want to listen to nobody. You don't want any type of correction. You want to do what you want to do, even when you're in a situation where you could actually go to jail. It's crazy. It's mind-boggling. Let's continue.
Find you in contempt of court. 10 days in the DeKalb County Jail. Child will be presented to Mr. Habib. These matters will be continued thereafter. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You all have a good day.
You too, Your Honor.
All right.
Now, do you want me to prepare an order for instant?
Prepare the order. Put it in Word so I can put in my contempt. But interim, the custody of the child will be sent to Mr. Habib.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, guess what? She loses. She just for being combative and non-responsive and frankly disrespectful to the judge. The child is going to go to the father. The child should have been able to go to the father because he had an order for visitation rights, and she did not follow it at all because she's combative and she doesn't want to do what's right. And I think there was a video, I don't have the video, of them actually coming to her place, and then she started crying because they actually came to pick her up because she was in contempt of court. And this is what needs to happen to make these combative women understand that you can't have your way. There are rules that you must follow, and if you don't want to follow them, then there should be consequences for it. And in this particular case, there were consequences, and she didn't like it. So the father ends up getting to see his child as he should. This is what a lot of fathers have to go through. Nobody wants to really address that and talk about it. Fathers literally have to take these women to court just to get visitation rights for their own children. Women have put in their minds that they have the sole rights of a child when it took 2 to make it, but then you want to still complain about the men not doing their part when a lot of men are fighting just to see their children and be in their children's lives. But because these women are selfish and don't want to do the right thing when it comes to the fathers of these children, the men literally have to fight, go to court, go back and forth with these women to try to see their kids and be in their children's lives, while women still complain at them and lie on the men to say that they're not trying to do anything and they don't want to be there, when in a lot of cases these men are fighting, going to court back and forth to try to have a relationship with their children and be in their children's lives. So you can't just believe what people say. You got to actually see what they're actually doing and get to the bottom of what's really going on, because these women will have you convinced that every man is out here not trying to be in their children's lives when these men are going back and forth forth to court fighting with these women to do exactly that. So once again, this is just us one case of this. There are a lot of men across this country who have to deal with this on a daily basis, who are fighting, and the court systems don't favor the men, but they are actually out here fighting to have their children in their lives when the women are pushing back against them, but also complaining to the public that these men don't want to be in their children's lives. So there are a lot of bitter, scorned women who are doing this because they can't have the relationship with the man, or they're mad for whatever reason that they use these children against the men. And I think it's sickening, and I think it needs to stop, and these women need to be held accountable. So listen, y'all definitely chime in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this whole case. I thought this was crazy. Comment, like, subscribe. Y'all know what it is. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.